right, well, we made it to Newburgh, Indiana, and I kind of got the idea to start doing river towns around the Midwest, Indiana, Illinois. I don't know if I'm gonna make this part of this Kentucky trip or if I'm gonna just make this part of a river town series. But somebody told me in Kentucky to come to Newburgh, Indiana, and so I'm gonna check it out. Now I realize that I'm not doing a really good job at like foreshadowing or telling you a lot about this place before I get here. I'm just kind of winging it, so I hope that's okay with you guys. But my first impressions of Newburgh, Indiana, here as the sun sets along the river, is, oh my God, I can't believe that I didn't know this place existed. Seriously. I feel a little ashamed that I lived in Indiana for so long and I never came here. You know, I always thought that I had to go to Chicago or something cooler than this to go see something, you know, worthwhile. Or even when I lived in Hawaii and then I had to go travel to Europe. But I'm so thrilled that I have so much to explore right around me. So I don't know, would that be, I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't know if that would be Owensboro in the distance, but you can see a little better in person. There's like a industrial bridge and some smokestacks going, which actually kind of looks cool. There's like a restaurant on the river here. Everything's nice and clean. You can tell there's some tourists here. So, yeah, I thought that I wanted to start exploring river towns. I think there's so much history in river towns for various reasons. Obviously, there were activities happening more at river towns because boats transported things to places. So when you have that, you have industry and jobs and activity and stories. And I want to uncover some of those. So that's why we're in Newburgh. Like I said, I'm watching like other people's videos and I'm trying to get ideas because I'm just starting off, and they do a lot of kind of what you call it, like segueing into the videos, telling you more about why they're there, and maybe they're already meeting somebody and it's kind of structured in that way, which I hope to do some of that. But honestly, I'm also finding it really fun to not have that and to kind of wing it. Some sort of structure in the distance. It looks like a ferry boat or something in the corner there. Town hall. I can't believe I'm in Indiana and there are hills. So yeah, in the distance looks like a river boat of some sort and another big structure. So I'm super curious what's going on down there. But the sun was setting, and I didn't want to miss that sunset kind of river walk. So yeah. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. So what a fun day. Rosine, Kentucky, learning about bluegrass and Bill Monroe, and just learning more about Rosine and making connections, hopefully for a deeper dive. And then I go to Osboro, and it was quick and short and not a lot going on there, but I did get a brief glimpse of what it's like there, and maybe made some more connections too for learning more about bluegrass. And then I shoot over here and I'm already in love with this place. It's already really interesting. Well, gotta find a place to stay. Haven't planned anything, so wasn't planning on even being here today. Somebody literally just told me to come here, and so a couple of places I've already been were not planned. They were just places that people told me to go check out. So I figured, since it's nice out, and since I'm here, maybe we can walk around a little bit and see what's going on. It's a Mediterranean restaurant upstairs. Landing site, Major John Sprinkle. It was here that John Sprinkle landed in the spring of 1803. He established a settlement from Pennsylvania. In 1837, the name was turned into Newburgh. Cool. All right, we're learning a little bit. So yeah, I was feeling a little like I was doing something wrong because I don't have things planned and this big serious topic to uncover. And I thought I kind of had to do something a certain way and in my mind, but I'm not doing that. So I've said this before, but I just hope that people find value in me winging it. Nonetheless, I'm having fun. Newburgh, Indiana. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm having the time of my life. I really am. I find it different for those who might care. I find it different when you're literally searching for stories and uncovering with a little more curiosity. So obviously the nature of what I'm doing here opens that up like that. Oftentimes I could have come to a place like this and been like looking for a beer or something, music, not stories. And it's funny because when I go to other countries, I look for stories and history. And but why not like in the next town over? I don't know. So just, I'm learning. I'm opening my eyes and just realizing that a lot of fun can happen when you're just a little more curious and open. So just having a little stroll of Newburgh at night, because I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow night. And it just looks really nice out, and just thought we would capture a little bit of the night vibe. Things have closed down, obviously. It's Sunday, it's at night. But I thought I'd just do a quick little drop and go sunset kind of walk here. Maybe we'll be here tomorrow and things will be popping. First impressions, like more picturesque and cute than I thought any Indiana town could be. And I don't mean that with disrespect, because there's Indiana towns that I like. You know, not saying that, nothing bad about Indiana, but this is nice. This is like, I feel like I'm back in time, if I'm being honest. So I can't wait to explore this place. Probably doesn't get as cold down in these parts. And you know, it's not a secret. I mean, you could tell there's some nice houses. There's some money in this town, and everything looks, to me, it kind of has this East Coast feel. Sometimes when I went there to check out like small towns on the East Coast, in that area, has this kind of charm. So there's a charm and style here that's unlike any other place I think I've been in Indiana. Like if you closed if you blindfolded me and dropped me off here and I was walking around, Indiana's not the place I would have think that I was at. But also I haven't explored that much of southern Indiana, so maybe there's more like this. I don't know. So back to the town hall. So we just did like a lap. Sunset lap. And now we gotta go find a place to sleep. See what's going on with Newburgh. I am gonna try to learn a little bit more about places when I can. So if I have time, I will definitely prelude into things, I think is the best way to say it. This looks like it says entering Rivertown Trail Corridor. And you can't drive down here. Or actually, you can drive down there. So because it's getting dark and I don't know really what's going on down there, I'm gonna get in the car and kind of drive down there and check it out. But it looks like there's like it's like a Rivertown Trail Corridor where cars and people with bikes and walking coexist. So maybe that's how you get to the ferry down there? I don't know. I think I'm gonna go explore there. Maybe nothing's going on down there tonight, but we'll see. I like to get on that river. Not gonna lie about that. I'm really excited to possibly, do some ferry rides and whatnot on this channel. Right now, it's just kind of driving around, walking around, Eddie on the street. But we will see. Boat rides, plane rides. I wonder what we can get into. Hi. You guys look like you're having fun up there. Where are you guys from? Florida. Florida? Oh, nice.
She's from here, but I'm from Florida.
Oh, nice. I was just in Kentucky and somebody told me about this place, so I drove up to check it out. It's wonderful already. I meant Newburgh, but.
Oh, well, it's an Airbnb, and we usually see my folks are in Newburgh.
I mean, that's nice of you, but I mean, if you want to hang out, but I'm doing videos and meeting people, so if you want to do that, we can.
Maybe Sharona.
He's like, no.
We're kind of tired.
Yeah, me too.
Family will do that to you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I got to go find a place to stay. You have a good night.
Thank you.
Yep. So she opened it up, and I was like, yeah, let's go up. He was like, nah. I don't blame him. If I was walking by this time of night, probably wouldn't want just somebody to come on up either. But just realized I'm like walking on the road when there's a perfectly fine walkway to walk on. Anyways, I almost took the bump on their offer. I was like, what'd you guys up to? So, see, just trying to be curious, whether it's about something specific or just some strangers up there having fun. What are they doing? I don't know. All right, off to find a place to sleep. Okay, we are back in the historic neighborhood of Newburgh, Indiana. We slept in Evansville, or I don't, there's nobody with me. I don't know who this we is. I slept in Evansville last night because it was convenient to do so. And have to forgive me, there's a historic World War II boat there that I found out about, and in Evansville. And I thought it'd be cool to do a video on that. And I contacted them, and they're going to contact me back. They're actually shut down the boat, open to for it to be open to public today, so it could be a good time to go over there. So I'm going to be doing Newburgh currently, but if they give you a call, I'm going to shoot back to Evansville and see if they will let me know, teach me and educate me on the history behind this boat. So I'm really excited about that. I love World War II history. I love rivers. I love boats. So it's just will be fascinating to me to be able to go over there and get a tour of that. Not holding my breath on it. The lady was really nice, but sounds like a busy day, so it might be for another time. So again, that's kind of what I'm doing. There might be a story to be told. I'll go tell it if I can, if they allow me to. Or it might just be walking around a place, showing the beauty through my eyes, talking to locals. We never really know what we're doing. I find that if I can be this kind of flexible, then it'll really sometimes unfold stories, or at least just meet people in a way that I wouldn't have done otherwise. So let's get our thumbnail, possibly. That could be it right there. All right, so yesterday we went down by the river and did a river walk, and it goes pretty far. Some locals told me that it went to a softball park of some kind. Don't know if I'm going to walk all the way down there again. I want to get up into the town and just kind of explore. It's Monday. Things are just starting to wake up, it seems. Very quiet, very nice. Yesterday with the sunset, I really thought that was amazing. So I'm just going to go explore and see what they got going on here. Just about got hit by a truck.
Oh, she's perfect. I mean, she's house trained.
Hi, puppy.
Just...
I was at a crosswalk, kind of a small, quiet one, and I was walking by and the truck wasn't stopping. Super charming buildings. I'd actually like to see inside of that, but I don't even see a business here or what they got going on. I'm going to cross the street and peek inside. So pretty quiet. So I don't know who we're going to talk to or what stories are going to unfold, but nonetheless, I hope we pick up on the charming town. It looks like a bar. I don't know if it's like a town that's not quite open yet because it's still spring and they only open up for summer. Things still look closed down. I thought last night when I came through that perhaps it was just because it was Sunday night. The library. Please use the other door. Let's go in the library, see what's open. Town hall. Could be a good place to go to learn more about something. Oh, it's open. Awesome. We're in the town hall. Looks like the building has a pretty nice view of the river. And you can get out this way too, maybe. Pretty cool. Nobody was directly in there, and a lot of times they don't really want you filming in a town hall. I mean, I could have shut the camera off, but I don't know. I just want to go visit all the charming towns of the country now. The only place that I see open so far is the Blue Nash Denim Bar. If you want denim, that's a good place to go. Boutique kind of vibe. See if this place is open. So it looks like it's one of those things where like everything is closed down on Monday. I mean, I heard a thing is being closed down on Sunday, but Monday? I mean, obviously too, they get more people coming toward the weekend, so I'm sure they know their own business, but everywhere I go, it's being closed down. Closed. Feather IV, Feather the Fourth, Feather Fourth. Closed. Antique store. Closed. Okay. Well, so this is the bakery shop building, built by A.M. Phelps. It was a bakery and grocery stores, and it was erected in 1983. Was the Women's Club of Newburgh. I bet they've got stories. Are they still around? I'd love to talk to them. So I guess this is one of those things where so far there's no one to talk to. Preservation Hall. That has to be open on Monday, right? Town Hall, Preservation Hall. Upstairs, downstairs. Closed. Closed. So this might just be one of those things where we really try to capture the beauty of the town and not the people. You might be able to sense my disappointment, but I stay positive. What's meant to be, will be. I believe in that. But there is still part of me that's disappointed. I thought at least some stuff would be open to at least say hi to people. So if you're coming to Newburgh on a Monday, pack your own picnic because nothing's open. At least the historic area anyways. I love that house. All these houses are so nice. This looks abandoned. This is about the time somebody comes out and says, "Get off my lawn." And I say, "I'm sorry. I'm just curious." Cornell McCormick House, built around 1870 by Cornell McCormick. Okay. This is cool. So yeah, when I can't get a story and I can't talk to people, that's when I get curious. Building doesn't really look like. Okay, maybe people are living in there. It looks kind of modern in there. I gotta be careful. I don't want to be a creeper or peek through the window and see something I shouldn't. We don't want the police involved. It's a beautiful day just to walk around here, so I'm happy with that. I'm just a people person sometimes, and I wanted to say hi to people. We can cross over here. Everybody's just got such a cozy little old school vibe here. Samuel R. Weed House. Well, 1856. Sold to Samuel, whose third wife was Mary Ann Polly, castle daughter of Osroe Castle. Huh. The third wife, huh? So there's obviously so many stories to be told here. But here we are. I bet you the real estate place is open. Closed. Even real estate agents aren't open? That's surprising. Feels almost like I'm in an alternate. Ah, this place is open. Hooray! It's a children's shop. Hi.
Hi.
You guys are open, huh?
We are.
Wow, it's amazing. Does the town close down a lot on Mondays?
There's quite a few businesses that aren't open on Mondays.
Oh, yeah?
I honestly couldn't tell you which ones are and aren't.
Yeah, well,
We're open.
most are not open.
Yeah.
Interesting. I do videos of small towns, and I usually like to go around talking to people and learning more about the history of the place, but I can't find any people.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure which businesses.
Yeah, I'll walk around. It's not that big. I can find it.
All of them are back open on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
for sure.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So back open on Tuesdays. Not really hard to find which ones are open and closed. It's all within a walking distance. Okay. I'm a little bummed out. Not like majorly bummed, but like I said, positive. Going with the flow. Things happen for a reason, but also keep kind of catching places as they're shut down. So luckily the place is charming, so it's worth just kind of exploring that. The Rutledge House. Says it was built prior to 1845 by Abner Luce. Okay. These houses are so massive. There must be so much history here. And I would guess that has to do with the trade, the trades that happen on the river. The Bates Walden House, built by Selvin Bates, a dry goods merchant. So I wonder if I could just kind of imagine, you know, boats coming up and people putting up stores based on their connections, and that's who owned some of these old houses. Trade, you know, merchants, traders, people who had businesses. Thomas Floyd Bethel House, 1855. After success in a river trading business, well, there you go. I just kind of nailed that. So there's a lot of nice houses here, older ones. So must have been a lot of trading along this river. I mean, maybe that's something to discover. You know, the trade history along the rivers. Now we're kind of coming across, coming back down to the river. Where we kind of were yesterday. And yesterday I mistakenly claimed the industrial area over there as Owensboro, which is kind of silly. I think that's impossible. I scared the birds away. Must have been females. Hi. Okay, people are waving to us. We're going over there to talk to them. We're going to be curious. We're hungry for people to talk to because everything is closed down. So anybody that waves or is nice to us, we are gonna we're gonna go say hi. Let's see what happens. Will you talk to me? Will you talk to me?
Will I talk to
Yeah.
She will, but I won't.
You won't talk to me?
I'm just kidding.
I'm doing a YouTube.
First of all, what do you do?
I'm doing a YouTube video. I just go around small towns and tell the history and meet the people from the small towns.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm doing mostly river towns right now,
Yeah.
and everything's closed, so there's nobody to talk to.
Right. Mondays are a bad day.
Mondays are a bad day. Well, maybe I'll have to stay another day.
Oh, I think that's a good idea.
Great idea.
Is that a great idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys live here?
Well, we
Obviously,
do. We're
yeah.
in the process of selling it.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. This is your house.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys lived here?
5 years.
5 years. It seems like a great little area to be at.
It is.
She's a lifer, though.
You're a lifer?
Yeah, I've been here all my life.
Is that right?
Not in this house.
Yeah. What's it been like to grow up here and live here?
Oh, well, you know, over the years it's really changed. But back in the day, it was a perfect place to be able to, of course, it's a long time ago, you know, but you could walk through, but it's it has grown so much. Not
Mhm.
downtown, but the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like, you mentioned like being able to walk to school, you feel like it's less safe now?
Only because of the times.
Yeah.
This town is very safe.
Right.
Crime rate is very low.
Uh-huh.
But just because of the times that we're in, you know.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah.
It's different. So is there a lot of people from the area who've just been here for a very long time? I would guess so.
There are, but you'll probably meet more transient people than you will lifers.
I was seeing all these like nice historic houses, and I was thinking like where did they get the money for those? Where did the industry come from? And I was thinking, well, there must have been a lot of trading along the river back then. And then I saw there's a historic house up there, and it said after successful river trading, and I was like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So
Yeah,
there must just have been a lot of history here with trading.
a lot of history. Yeah, being on the river. This whole area right next to the river was like. I don't know about lumber companies, but there were companies all down through here that
Sure.
obviously are no longer here. But,
Sure. Boats coming up, dropping things off, picking things up,
Right.
and then some settling here, building houses or
Yeah.
whatnot.
There's a railroad track went through here, right?
Yeah, it was called the traction line.
Oh,
And this building that's still there, it's
Uh-huh.
the one that's right beyond the baker sign.
uh-huh.
That was the station for, in fact, you could probably read the history on the front of that.
Okay, that's great.
It was the station for the traction line.
That's awesome. I'm sniffing out stories and trying to learn more about the place, where would you point me to besides over there? Is there somebody that I would be able to talk to, or?
There are. I wish the museum was open. That would be a great place to be.
Does it open tomorrow?
I don't really know.
I can look it up too. I was just
Yeah,
curious. I
I'm
can look it
not-
up.
Can be a good one for him.
Yeah, and we have a friend, Ann Rust. She's
Ann Rust.
very good at all the history. She serves on the town council.
Okay, Ann Rust. Did she? So I was in the town hall building earlier. But I didn't see anybody there. They were in the back, maybe eating lunch. But I understand. It's nice. It's slow.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll get her name before I take off. But
she would be one to tap into because she has a lot of knowledge up here
Mhm.
that a lot of people have lost.
yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to tell stories that are being forgotten, that only maybe some locals know, and then bringing them out and about so people kind of know about them. I feel like a lot of big stories are being told all the time, and But the smaller stories, especially like charming places like river towns across the Midwest, nobody knows about those stories.
Right, and they'll be lost forever.
Yeah.
As we all die off, we won't. Those aren't told somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never be able to tell them all, but the ones that I do tell hopefully stick around longer.
Yeah,
Trying to move it forward a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Well, my name's Eddie. It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
And
We're Bob and Ellen.
Bob and Ellen. Well, so I'm curious, where are you guys heading off to then? If not this beautiful place, I mean, it doesn't quite.
I know. It's very tough to leave.
Yeah.
Bob is a builder, so we built a new home for ourselves out north of here. It's Newburgh.
Okay.
It's not in town. I grew up 2 blocks from here, just up the street.
Fantastic.
But we've always lived in the area. We've moved a lot, about 20 times. This will probably be number 21.
So you guys just like switching it up?
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I've lived 35 places. I just moved.
Really?
Oh yeah, I just moved back from Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
I was there for 15 years, and even when I was in Hawaii, I think I moved 10 times on one island.
Wow.
That's
So-
the way we say we've moved 20 times in the same block.
Yeah.
Well,
I want
you
to switch up the angle. Like, I want to see it from over this way. Oh yeah, that's nice. This is nice.
Well, we finally met someone that's moved more often than us.
Yeah. Well, since I was a kid, I have. But I live up in northern Indiana right now in a small town called
Oh, there's a wasp.
Bourbon, Indiana.
He's hanging around that flag. So.
Yeah, he's got a thing to that flag.
Yeah. Well, he must be patriotic. So yeah,
There you go.
I live up in Bourbon, Indiana right now. Small town up north by South Bend, south of South Bend. It's a real charming little town. But yeah. All right. Well, thanks for speaking with
Well,
me.
sure, no problem. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
I'm going to point you to this sign over there, but that says Newburgh captured or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's humiliating, but you'll have to read it.
It's okay. Okay. All right. Awesome. I'll do that. And then
check that.
sounds like maybe I'll stick around. I was trying to move up north to get some more towns, but I'm here now, and so if there's a chance of me diving a little deeper the next day, I feel like it's good to stay another day.
It'd be great if you could connect with Ann. She'd really fill you in on a lot.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, we are with Ellen now. She's going to tell us a little bit more about this house.
So this is some type of an organization that is associated with slavery. And I think it was for like helping them, assisting them to get
Kind of like the underground type of thing.
kind of like that, yeah. And we've looked it up once and I cannot remember what it said. but-
Okay, well, let's look into it a little bit. The UBF SMT 1908, we're in Newburgh, Indiana. So if you're watching this and you know a little bit, educate us. Definitely fascinating, something to look more into. It'd be kind of interesting now that you're thinking about it, because I'm always trying to uncover stories. If there was more rich history of an underground sort of system, it would be nice to tell that story, wouldn't it?
Ann will be able to help you with that.
Yeah.
Shame Jim's not here.
Oh yeah, my nephew is out of town right now and he knows tons.
Really?
Yes.
Where's he at?
He's visiting California.
So everybody knew I was coming, so they closed down the town and took off to California?
Let us know.
Well, that's the thing is like, sometimes I find that if I was to set this up, maybe it's, maybe it goes one way, but I've kind of found this charm in just showing up.
Yeah.
And then even if I have to kind of come back, then I come back. But then there's like this kind of discovery type element to it, opposed to totally setting it up. Yeah. But I'm also learning that there probably is some value of calling ahead.
Yeah, maybe.
But I didn't even know this place. I was doing other things and somebody said, shoot up to Newburgh. And that was yesterday. So yesterday around dinner time, somebody said, you should try Newburgh, Indiana. And I was at the museum in Owensboro, and they have like fossils and stuff. And they let me in and just talked to me for a minute. Yeah. And then one of the guys there, I don't know if he was a curator, but he worked there. And he was like, there was a girl who worked there. She was like, you should go up to Newburgh. It's really nice. And so I just shot right up here. I didn't have this planned out at all. So
I was thinking the same thing. So further west is Angel Mounds, and it's all about the Indians that were settled here at one time.
That would be nice.
And so if you'll, I have to give you directions.
Turn it to ballpark.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
Yeah, find Angel Mounds. Yeah, just GPS it.
And is it a town or is it just an area?
It's just a
historical
museum.
museum.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, there has a museum there.
Yeah, it has a museum.
Oh, fantastic. So maybe I can stay the night and talk to Ann, and then maybe go over there and do that
Yes,
too.
that is a great idea.
Okay.
And he's the guy who didn't want to talk.
He didn't want to talk?
You know, when you came up there, she'll talk, but I
He
won't.
saw me. He's like, come on here. Let me talk to you. He was looking for somebody to talk to. He waved me in.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Sometimes I talk, sometimes I don't.
Well, that's the way it goes. Just depends on what's going on, I guess. Who's around and what's
I like
going
to
on.
leave it up to her because she's the better spokesperson.
Ah, I see. You just whisper in the ear and then she translates.
There you go.
Tell him about the Angel Mounds.
That's what he did.
Oh, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, so cool thing happened. Obviously, we just met with Ellen, and they're going to try to put me in contact with Ellen Ann Rust, who is kind of like or is a historian here. Either way, she knows a lot about the area. And they were saying that the town opens up tomorrow a little bit more. So I think there'll be a little bit more to explore. There's also a museum to get into. So I also met Dave, who owns this amazing house on the river, and we set up a stay for me downstairs, and later I'll show you that. It is amazing. It's called the $1 Million View on Airbnb, in case you are curious about this after you see the video. So right across the street, she just put me in contact, so goes to show you, you know, I'm just walking around meeting people, and then one thing leads to another. So maybe that's my model, right? One thing leads to another. I don't know. Making it up as we go along. So what I'm headed to do now is going back to the town hall, because even though Ellen is trying to get me in contact with Ann, they might also be able to put me in contact with her too. So I don't want to like leave that stone unturned, if that makes sense. So we're gonna go there and check that out. So still strolling through Newburgh. It just feels like, you know, it feels like I don't mind not always getting the full story or just passing through and getting the vibe of a place briefly kind of thing. But this one feels like I should stay and tap into it a little bit more before I head out, since I'm already here. And because it's just a charming place. They were also saying that there's an old place called Nob Hill that's been around for a very long time. So I feel like that will be worth checking out too. So more businesses tomorrow, hopefully more people, more information. Hope you guys are enjoying my adventure thus far. And if you do like what I'm doing, make sure to please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications, stay in touch. I promise to keep it as interesting as possible. So hopefully you guys are kind of enjoying just me winging it and not really knowing what I'm doing. So we're back at the town hall and seeing if we can get in touch with Ann Rust. But sometimes in the town halls, they don't really want you videoing, so I'm not really gonna video that part right now. So we'll see in a minute. Okay, we just got out of the town hall. They're gonna email Ann Rust for me and to see if they can put her in contact with me. So that's awesome. We're sniffing it out. We're sniffing it out. Sometimes you just gotta be patient and persevere. That's true for these videos, and it's true for life. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. I'm having the time of my life, if you guys don't know that. Like, yes, I'm talking to myself around towns onto a device. It's true. Not knowing if anybody's ever going to even watch this. That's true. But just having an explorative nature and documenting it is amazing. I repeat myself a lot, so you probably heard me say that already in this video even maybe. We'll probably have to edit that out because my editor will be like, you've said that 100 times. So, unfortunately, I also saw that the museum is only opened on Fridays. So well, in my defense, I didn't plan on coming to this one. But maybe I have to think ahead a little bit better sometimes. Might help me out some. So, not gonna get the museum, but if I can get Anne, I feel like I will be covered for what I'm doing. At least Newburgh Part 1. And when I was talking to Ellen down there at, previously in the video, she was telling me about how her house might have been connected to some sort of underground railroad protecting slaves. And obviously that is a sensitive topic in American history. But I also feel like stories should still be told. And if there is any connections to some sort of like underground railroad along these river towns or in general that maybe hasn't been so known, I want to document that. I want to dive into that. I think it's fascinating. So I'm curious about that. So just another kind of example of how I'm here doing one thing and maybe finding out about another thing. So we're just sitting here. It's a nice chill day. Newburgh, Indiana. My new favorite place. How are you guys doing? Are you guys having a good day? Hope so. Ooh. We have a Tesla. What do you think about those things? I mean, it's cool that there's something different going around. There's like this old clock too. I wonder how long this has been here. And then let's go explore. She said to go read, Ellen said to go read this sign down by the river. So maybe we'll go check that out. This East Bay Clock Company. That doesn't look new. Looks very old. Do you know anything about the East Bay Clock Company? I don't. Okay, we're gonna go check out this sign about Newburgh because we were prompted to by Ellen down by the house that I'm staying at. The house that I'm staying at makes me want to stay like longer. It was a little more than I wanted to spend for tonight. Like $150. So I mean, that's not bad. Especially wait till you see the view. So we're still exploring. We're gonna go read this sign. This is the Princess Theater building. I don't know if I covered this yet. Built by Herman Shoemaker, 1915. Theatrical plays, operas, concerts, and motion pictures. Latest motion pictures of the times were shown from 1917 to 56. Later became a community playhouse. Oh, I wish I could go back there in time and see and record stuff in the past. Maybe we'll be able to do that one day. You think? Could you imagine like somehow being able to like go back in time and see? I love those old videos they have of, sometimes it's AI generated, which, okay, but sometimes they have like these old videos and they redo them and it's a glimpse back in time. And I think that's kind of cool. So, I don't know, maybe that's what I'm doing here. Seems pretty modern, what I'm doing, telling old stories, but one day this will be an old story. Maybe this is a way for me to be remembered, I don't know. So we're going back down towards the river. Again, this is the house I'm staying at on the bottom part, which we'll see here in a minute. The first town north of the Mason-Dixon line to be captured by the Confederate forces during the war between the states. General Adam R. Johnson, with the guerrilla band, crossed the Ohio River and confiscated supplies and ammunition without a shot being fired. Way to go, Newburgh. Well, it is pretty relaxing over here. People were probably just chilling out, minding their own business. Next thing you know, you got some Confederates showing up. He said right down here was where the river came up to not even that many days ago. This was all water. And then this backyard over there in the back of the house is where my room is in the bottom. I mean, if you want to have a romantic evening, romantic getaway, come to Newburgh with your loved one, rent the $1 Million View out on Airbnb. Guaranteed awesomeness. Okay, well, an update is that Ann Rust messaged me and has agreed to meet up with me and possibly even get me into the museum. And we're going to meet up at 2:30 at the town hall, and she's going to give me more history about Newburgh. So pretty excited about that. So things are just unfolding. So walking down the river, thought it was kind of dead. Somebody waves to me. I got a place to stay, and now I'm learning more about the history. Okay, well, we are at our Airbnb. I'm going to show you guys that here in a little bit. But was just kind of checking in here and relaxing, and saw this barge come across the river. Don't know how much that will really come up on the video, but pretty cool. Still running barges down here on the Ohio River, and it makes sense because I crossed the river to get here, but right across this river there, that's Kentucky. So still running them barges. John Hartford, who we love, bluegrass guy, talked a little bit about him in my bluegrass video or Kentucky video. He talked about the barges in Alton, so I'd like to get down there to Alton and see what's going on down there. And he was a steamboat captain, so if you listen to this and you know John Hartford, or you watched my other video and where I kind of talked a little bit about John Hartford, I found out he was a steamboat captain, a legit steamboat captain. Heading up on those barges, man. So kind of interested to know where they came from or where they're going. Got some piles of dirt, sand, and maybe some rocks. So kind of cool to see that, like, people still, companies and organizations still running these barges. All right, well, let me show you around here. This is the back patio of the Airbnb. Hot tub and fireplace, which he said we could use. Super nice house. I showed that a little earlier. So pull out bed. And then downstairs area with the river view. So I think it was like $150 a night. That's taxes and everything included. Little fireplace there. So I'd say if you're in this area, come to Newburgh, get a little piece of history, learn a little bit. They got some good food, and stay here. Nice river vibe. So, and a little bit, we're gonna go meet with the town historian, and they're gonna open up that museum. We're gonna go talk with them at 2 p.m. So we're just gonna charge our devices and go dive deeper and learn more about the history here. So I just wanted to show you the Airbnb where I'm staying, and pretty cool stuff. All right, well, we made it to the Newburgh Museum. Anne and someone else that we're getting ready to meet has agreed to open up the museum, actually, and to tell us a little bit more about the history of Newburgh. So that's really nice of them that they even did this, because I thought I was going to have to come back and do part two, but looks like we're going to get a little bit of insight to the history of this place. So let's go. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Eddie.
Hi, Eddie. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. So thanks for seeing us on a whim.
Oh, of course.
That was really nice. I kind of was I was in Owensboro,
Okay.
and I was at a museum there, but I just peeked into this museum because it was kind of getting ready to close down.
Yeah.
And they showed me around a little bit, and I talked to them, and then one of the girls at the front desk was like, "You should go to Newburgh."
So, where we usually start out is highlighting the war histories here. And so, during this time, the US was just starting to get involved with the Cold War and in Vietnam. So, yeah, with this, these items were donated from a Newburgh resident here. These are all Cold War and civil defense items here. And a lot of times some people, ask, what is this? What's that? And things like that. And, it's nice to have those deeper discussions to be able to identify some of those. There's, of course, a gas mask. We have a civil defense helmet. You got to have your survival supplies barrel there, which were used as a, they could be reused as a commode, of course. So,
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant when we first received it. I'm like, what's going to be in here? But it's empty. It's fine. So, but it's a little interesting. I mean, we have some of the radiological survey meters here and everything. Something interesting. So leading into the Korean War, the items that you see here on display are on loan from the Evansville Wartime Museum. So this kind of stresses the importance of having that connection with other local museums in the area and being able to establish different exhibits, do kind of like a traveling exhibit sort of connection there. What's specifically interesting about the Korean War is that in Evansville, we do actually have a geographical association with it, being the 38th parallel. So whenever you're headed north out of town on I-69, you'll see this marker right here, 38th parallel, Veterans of the Korean War Memorial. And then as we lead to right here, you can see that is this 38th parallel, a divide of North and South Korea. And we are connected to that geographically all the way here in Evansville. So a big part of, social life, there was, of course, the USOs that a lot of the military members, they would go there, have a little kickback, that kind of thing. But back at home, what you would see here, this is a reflection of the Westfall drugstore, which, of course, had a soda shop in the back. Very common during the 50s. I mean, a Jimmy's sandwich shop had a little soda shop and little jukebox. You had to have your dance floor area and everything, of course. So here we do have a mix of artifacts of some different prescriptions that were from Westfall's drugstore. This is all kind of a collection of items that other local residents here, they have loaned us to for the year. The jukebox here was actually just this past weekend featured in a Patsy Cline musical.
Oh.
So you just never know what connections a little museum will end up making.
Absolutely.
And of course, I've got the soda jerk serving there and everything. Get your burgers and stuff.
Now, speaking of prescriptions, are there any bourbon prescriptions? I was down in Kentucky and I saw some bourbon prescriptions going on.
Not that we have
No?
here, but
Okay.
that's fascinating.
It's down in Kentucky, I guess.
That's very much a Kentucky thing, I would say. And as for residents who really grew up here in Newburgh, we invite them into the Hall of Memories. So this here, we kind of take that step back to our famous passersby. Everyone from Lewis and Clark, John Audubon, we've got Lincoln, of course, Mark Twain, a little bit of everyone passed through here. And that just really emphasizes the unique history that being a river town can really give to us. the importance of the river, I mean, that helped develop, I mean, our industry, the connections. I mean, going back to Native Americans all the way up to World War II and the significance of our dam, which made Evansville successful in building LSTs, planes, the ammunition. I mean, Evansville's very successful, very prominent World War II manufacturing town, and Newburgh had a helping hand in that.
Lewis and Clark came through here. I wonder if there's any particular stories about that. I mean, they're so prominent and known there. I'm curious if there's any more obscure stories about their time here, or books or anything.
That would
like
certainly
nature.
be fascinating. I mean, I would think the downtown library might have a bit more of a collection on that. That and possibly our local historian might know a bit more about it too.
Well, I'm sure there has to be some stories if they were here.
Oh,
about
absolutely,
what
yes.
they did and stuff.
But I mean, they were on that expedition finding the Northwest Passage. The Louisiana Territory was expanding during that time as well. And so, you know, they were passing through, you know, they were doing their mapping and excavation, all kinds of things like that. So to kind of connect, so although that World War II era was very prominent, very busy, there was a period of time where things really slowed down. And that was when it picked up when Alcoa came to town. And this really brought a lot of industry here when they started breaking ground around 1960. With Faflin Lake, it is now currently a subdivision and it is private. So the lake, there's no swimming or anything accessible on that. But back in its heyday, it was the spot to go to. It was considered as the Tri-States playground. Hundreds of people would gather there every single day. I mean, here's even one of the little admission ticket to it.
Very cool.
Here's an advertisement for it, the coolest place to get cool.
And what year would it have been?
It closed around 1963, and it was in operation for, I would say, at least 30 years. A lot of development and things took place there, of course, hence it is now a neighborhood today. I would say comparatively that the next closest thing that we maybe still have today is Lake Rudolph and Santa Claus. And even that has really declined in popularity and everything. And nowadays, you don't really see people going out to swim at lakes. You don't really see them going out and doing these different day trips. And just these type of social hubs, they're just not here
Or outdoor
anymore.
recreation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, we see different development. You know, we see a lot of, there's a lot of pickleball courts and things like that. But this is where all families could have been welcome. And I love going out. I love camping. I love doing all those things and stuff like that. And we had something right here in the heart of Newburgh that was for the entire tri-state area. I mean, over in, I think it's in Davis County, you have the, what is the name of it? Windy Hollow. You have the Windy Hollow where they have the racing track there too. That also used to be a major social place to be. They had, and same thing here in Faflin Lake, you know, in the middle of the lake, you have that big like 2 or 3 story dock where people can jump off and be diving in. And there are people who remember they were lifeguards there. They did the concessions there. This is just a very unique story. And we just see how expansion and development, it helps in some ways, but also hinders in some others.
Takes away a little bit of the culture and the richness of an area, doesn't it?
And with it, we have our wonderful story about the gang of cutthroats, Stovepipe Johnson.
Now we're getting into it.
Oh, yeah.
Stovepipe Johnson. You know that guy's got something to say.
So this man was all about a good bluff. He loved bluffing. He would come to towns, make it seem like he's got hundreds of men. He maybe had 30, if that, on a good day. But the story here in Newburgh. So Newburgh was the first town north of the Mason-Dixon line to be captured and without a single shot being fired.
It's on the town sign I saw.
Oh, yep. Yep, you see the plaque down there. So you see this photo here. It is a reenactment. But across the river, that is the Newburgh riverfront. So this is taken on the Kentucky side of things.
It looks like there's more establishments across the river at that point.
There still definitely was. I mean, thinking of the river levels, I mean, there used to be a whole other street that was before Water Street.
For the dam.
Yes,
The
exactly.
Dam changed everything.
And the
Up
first
and down
dam was
the
built
river.
in 1927-ish, somewhere around 1920s, I believe. So yeah, the river was much lower, much more accessible to get across. And I mean, I'll tell a little bit of another story coming up here about crossing the river. So with that, I mean, you could see the town over there and stuff. So a couple of these men, they went across the river. They show up, and then they're like, hey, listen, see that over there? They see all these cannons and everything lined up. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to raid your town. We can blow it to smithereens and then do it, or you can just let us come through and take your things. And they're like, you know what? Okay, all of our men are away at war. It's horrible that you're doing this to us, but yeah, just go ahead, take whatever you need, and be on your merry way.
So I take back what I said earlier when I read the sign.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, what's going on? Why don't we do better protecting ourselves? But now we got the back end story, so my bad.
Mm-hmm. There we are. You never know.
I was like, come on, Newburgh, you guys didn't mean put up a fight?
I know,
That
exactly.
makes sense. That makes sense.
And like right here, we have a couple of different accounts here. There's only just one featured here. But there's this woman, Mrs. Harriet Knaus, and her husband, he had been killed in battle. And whenever Stovepipe Johnson and his men were his gang of cutthroats, she shamed him for belonging to that gang how they could invade a defenseless town whose men were away fighting for the cause of God and freedom. Truly tragic, but it's the fact that we have accounts to be able to still tell this story today. And there's so much more to dig into this. We have a lot of back history on this for those who are interested. And here, of course, Newburgh had to be connected, and we had a traction line. We did kind of miss out on that larger railroad hubbub, but the traction line really provided that connection that we had. I mean, for 25 cents every 40 minutes, you could go to Newburgh. It goes Newburgh, connects us to Evansville, Chandler, Boonville. Here we have a portion of the traction line, as long as the big old wooden sign that's there as well. Here, the building is still standing today.
The Indiana State Museum in Indianapolis has a display this summer on traction lines all over the state of Indiana.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I don't think they have a picture of ours, because ours is pretty cool.
It is. What wraps it all up, to emphasize it again, is the importance of our river. We wouldn't be who and what we are without it. We've got everything here, the steamboats and Lincoln and some different plat maps and everything that were available. This is my favorite recent acquisition that we have received. This was made by the Evansville Museum for our country's 200th birthday. And I'm actually the Warwick County representative for the America 250th celebration. So I'm hoping to make this connection with the Evansville Museum and see about commissioning another one of these beautiful maps.
Very cool.
Because who knows, in 50 years, we might have forgotten a lot of this, or we might have discovered more about it. And I would love to see another edition of it.
Yeah, I love your passion and your quest for more stories, and to do that. They're lucky to have you here.
I'm very happy to be here. And I mean, those historic plaques that you were talking about, when I was just 8 years old, I memorized every single one of them. And to be here behind the scenes at the museum is a more surreal feeling than I
It was
could
meant
have imagined.
to be for you, obviously. You were chosen one.
Thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure to show you this.
Yeah, so if you're in Newburgh, definitely stop by the museum and see Ivy, or just come in on your own and look at this place. There's so much rich history here. And we covered a lot today, but even the stories on the walls, there's so many more that you can kind of discover, and probably spend a couple hours here. And so I hope that you guys see that small town, big stories. So that's kind of the message that I'm kind of getting here is that it might be a small place, but there's so much stories and history here that she's still uncovering. Okay, so we just got done getting an awesome tour of the Newburgh Museum with Lily and Anne. Now, Anne is going to be taking me on a little bit of a ghost tour. She said that last time she did the tour, they only got a few steps and it took like 2 hours. There's so much history here in Newburgh. But we're going to get what we can, maybe about an hour's worth. We're not sure, because we got to go back and eat dinner with Ellen and Bob, who made all this happen. So shout outs to Ellen and Bob, because this doesn't happen without them. And we want to make sure that we're going to go eat dinner with them and spend time with them, because also what we love to do is meet with the locals and just learn more about people who live here. So that's what we're doing. This is what started developing. It's the history of where we're going, following a particular story, but it's also connecting with the locals. So stay tuned. Next up, ghost stories.
Well, this is the former town hall, and it became the town hall in the 1960s, mid-1960s. It was built as a Cumberland Presbyterian church, and it's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Today it is an event center, and weddings, parties, all kinds of events are held here. So it's still in use, and we're keeping it going as best we can. We've made some good changes inside. We've done several restorations, big ticket restorations, to try to help the building continue to survive. Originally, it was part of the land that was owned by the Phelps family. Abraham Phelps was a very wealthy, very well-to-do businessman in Newburgh. He was not a Presbyterian, but his wife was. And he donated land for the church to be built right next to their house. So that made it nice and convenient for her, and was a really good thing that he did for the Presbyterians. Before that, they just had circuit riding ministers who would come around every month or 6 weeks or so and deliver sermons. And so he was able, because of his position, to make that be a more permanent situation. This is, during the Civil War, it was reported that the heads of Lincoln and Douglas, of the famous Lincoln and Douglas debate, were cut off and were in the bell tower. Also during the Civil War, from the upstairs windows here to the upstairs windows at the Phelps Hopkins mansion, there was a cord that went, a rope that went from one to the other. And the idea was that if Newburgh was attacked, somebody from the home guard would run upstairs and ring the bell. They would be able to get into the Phelps house and ring the bell. Right. So everybody would know, take cover, be careful, watch out, here we go. But when we actually were attacked, nobody rang the bell. So we knew what was coming because you could see them on the Kentucky side marching their horses back and forth and back and forth. And they did that for a couple of days just to get everybody tense and worried. And they had stovepipes that had wagon wheels attached to them to make it look like they had cannons. They sent a message over to a man whose mother-in-law lived right on the river and said, we're going to blow her house off the face of the earth if you don't let us have what we want. Right. They wanted to get into the Exchange Hotel because it was being used as a Civil War hospital at the time. We had a stockade of guns and medical equipment that they needed, and that was the goal, was to come to Newburgh, get what they needed, and get out. And they had a lot of sympathizers because Kentucky doesn't have any natural port. So all of the tobacco products, particularly, that were grown in Kentucky and harvested there were brought to Newburgh to be put on the steamboats to be sent to New Orleans. The day after the raid on Newburgh, there was a teeny tiny one-paragraph article in the London Times that said the tobacco prices would be rising because Newburgh had been captured by the Confederates. Wow. But they were only here a few hours, but it led to rounding up some Confederate sympathizers and killing them. So, this is one of our true jewels here. This is the Phelps Hopkins mansion. At one time it operated as a bed and breakfast, and they made bathrooms in the most unusual places since the house was built without any to begin with. This guy is Steve Geis. Yep. And he's one of our premier photographers in town. Oh, okay. And he has some amazing pictures of the floods in the last few days.
We'll try to find him and put him in the link in the description of the video.
Yeah, he is a really good, he's an electrician by trade. Hi, Steve. I was just telling this gentleman what a great photographer you are.
Oh, yeah. Chest coming out.
Uh-oh.
Get out of your way.
This is
How's it
Rebecca. This is Steve.
Hi,
This
Steve.
is
I'm
Ed.
Eddie. I'm doing a YouTube video on Newburgh.
Oh, okay. What was your name?
Eddie.
Eddie. I had a
are
brother, Eddie.
It's a good name.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a YouTube video on Newburgh.
Oh, no.
Awesome.
I'm on video. I'm videoing. Is that all right? That's why I asked.
Okay. Well, this house has just recently been sold, and we are all anxious to see what's going to happen here.
Well, I was hoping it was for sale.
Well, it has been.
Do you know what it's sold
numerous
for?
times. No, I don't. They may. And the people are not living in it, as far as I know, not yet.
I might have peeked through the window earlier.
Yeah, the windows are great.
Yeah, I was hoping it was for sale. I was going to move in, make it into a bread and breakfast.
Yeah.
Do you guys know by chance how much the house sold for across the street? Correct.
Yes.
300?
It was too high.
Yeah, you think that was kind of a lot for it?
Well, the condition it was in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I mean, he's had to, he redid that top, the roof.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Chimneys
Yeah.
are relayed.
I was hoping it was for sale. I was going to be your neighbor.
Okay.
Well, you might as well
Thank you.
ask. But he's put a lot of money on it.
I'd love to be in the historic part of this neighborhood. I think that'd be nice.
Oh, I am.
This is the Cornel McCormick house. Cornel McCormick was the violin maker.
Mm-hmm.
You saw some of his music. He was a composer. He wrote his own music. He had violin lessons. A lot of the kids in town were subjected to learning to play the violin because of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a business, a workshop, where he actually made his violins down on Water Street. And the people around him on Water Street said, you know, he had a pot of glue on the stove all the time. It was stinky. It was very stinky, but that's what he did. The town owns 2 of his violins. I don't know about the violin that they're showing at the museum, if it's one of his also.
Yeah, she said it was. It was just donated for a short time.
Okay, because his relatives, before we had a museum, his relatives donated things to the town. Several people donated things to the town that we still have, because with legally binding gifts, we can't just give them away or whatever. So,
I like this. I wish
yeah, this is his
I would have
house.
got in here before it was sold.
Oh, I see what she means. This is the house next to where I am during the ghost walk.
Ah.
And it is a guy who committed suicide. And we had a lot of that in the Depression, in the bank closings, and the whole crash.
Sure.
There's quite a few people who were on the bank boards, the boards of trustees, felt like they had no recourse, I guess. Now, the little house that's over here, the Butterworth house, Mr. Butterworth was a stonemason, and so he likely built this wall all the way down. So he was close
No
to
relationship to Mrs.
Mrs. Butterworth.
I was like kind of getting excited there. I thought there was a connection to some syrup or
No,
something.
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. People who have lived in this house report, not this lady necessarily who's there now, but people have reported that they have seen Stokes Garwood, which is his name. They have seen him in the house.
Yeah. Just hanging out.
Yeah. And if you have the opportunity to see a picture of this house before they took the porch off of it, the porch was the most striking thing about it. All the fretwork up and down. And it's gone now. Stokes Garwood was a lodge member. He was one of the leaders in one of the lodges in town. Just well-respected citizen.
Freemason lodge?
Of what?
Like a Freemason lodge, or just like
Like Oddfellows or
Oddfellows.
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that. I mean, you know, we
I
had
saw there were some Freemasons picture signs too.
maybe I don't know, but anyway, that was part of his legacy that he was a really solid lodge member.
I see. We had spoken with Ann Rust, and she was giving us a little bit of a history on Newburgh and tapping into some of the stories. She has a plethora of information, but we weren't able to fully get all the information that we wanted from Ann just because we had to wrap things up and meet some friends at the Knob Hill Tavern here in Newburgh, which is also legendary and a must go if you're in Newburgh. I think it's been here for over 50 years. We had dinner with friends here. It was really amazing. We decided to not video that just so we could hang out and enjoy ourselves, but I just wanted to give a shout out. Old sign, this is, I guess I've been told this sign has been here for a very long time. The Old Fiddler. I think that might have been what it was called or something before it was turned into the Knob Hill Tavern. Not sure about that, but we ate here at the Knob Hill Tavern. They have catfish and fiddler, which I guess is a type of catfish. So cool spot. I'm gonna take us inside a little bit just so I can maybe show you guys around a little bit. So here's the bar area, and you can tell it's like really old and charming. And I'm just gonna be brief because I don't want to trip anybody, but there's your dining room here. So super old, charming kind of spot, and it's a must do if you guys come back here. Hi guys.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So I almost fell and broke my face there, but I wanted to make sure to give this place a shout out and give you guys a little bit of a view of that inside the spot. So kind of wish that I would have got the conversations that we had inside while we were eating, because Ellen invited her brother over, and Ellen was the one who got all this going for us and introduced me to everybody. So Ellen was there, that we talked to at the beginning of the video, and Ann and Ellen's husband Dave, and then Ellen's brother came and just had a lot of history, you know, sitting around telling stories and reminiscing things about Newburgh that they probably are the only ones that know. And I guess I might be wrapping it up here in Newburgh. Definitely enough to come back for Newburgh Part 2. There's no way that I could capture everything about this rich historical river town, but I guess to wrap things up is just that Newburgh taught me that it doesn't matter how big you are, you can be small and mighty. And also just that it proved to me that everybody does have a story. Every town has a story, and that a lot of them are going untold. So, and forgotten. And it's true for Newburgh. And I don't know that I dove 100% deeply and covered everything. Obviously you can't do that, but I just wanted to come through. You know, I did it on a whim and just wanted to showcase a little bit about this river town. And so I don't know if you are from this area. Hope that you enjoyed this. If you have more information, if you have something that you think I should know in the comments, hit me up. And I highly recommend that if you're in the area, it's worth the trip. Okay, well, we're back at the Airbnb, and well, here I go with the we again. I'm back at the Airbnb, and we're wrapping it up here in Newburgh. Tomorrow, exciting news. I think I already maybe mentioned this, but I do have permission to go and interview somebody that's going to tell us more about Evansville and the amazing historic ship there. So that's next tomorrow. But tonight I thought, what a better way to enjoy the night in Newburgh than on the river. So a barge just came through here. Nice night on the river. got a fire. And you can't quite see it in the video, but we got a hot tub. So also, I have a little bit of the bourbon from Bardstown. And so I'm just gonna take the night off and relax. It's been a really go, go, go the last few days. Met amazing people, learned about amazing stories, and just gonna take a nice night to myself, relax, and get ready for Evansville tomorrow. So if you're into river towns, if you're into small towns or lesser known stories, stay tuned because we're gonna be exploring those for now. So thanks for joining. If you're watching this, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Till next time.